Direct and managed project work is an executing process that occurs in the integration knowledge area. This is the execution of the project management plan and all components that make up the overall project management plan. So if you think about the phrase plan the work, work the plan, this process in summary is work the plan. Now, when we look at the ITO table here, starting out, we have the project management plan. That's what we're doing. We're executing it. We got a job to do, and this is what we're going to do. Now, the change log is a key input here, so we can keep track of related changes on the project, because as we plan, build, as we get in that loop there, changes will occur. So we want to keep track of those changes that get approved, shot down, suspended, or on hold, etc. The lesson learned register is a key input as well, so we can apply that and execute the plan as effectively as possible. And then approved change requests are an input here. So approved change requests come from Perform Integrated Change Control, and this is one of the few areas that they get cut into the overall process, if you will, the overall execution of the overall plan. Now, expert judgment is a key tool and technique here, because you want to execute that plan as intelligently as possible, thus expert judgment. And then your PMIS, or Project Management Information System, this could be something like SharePoint or a wiki page or some sort of an information sharing system where it gets pushed out to people per the rules, or people can push things up to it, and then people know where to go look for it in the system as far as various project-related information. Now, coming out of this, we have deliverables. So deliverables are basically what we're trying to get done. We get enough deliverables done, the overall project should be done. Deliverables from here go to control quality for testing. If it comes out of control quality and it's good, then, and we would test it in control quality. But if it comes out of there and it's good, then we send it to validate scope for the customer to accept it. So direct and managed project work goes to control quality. We test it. If it's good, then we send it to validate scope for the customer to test. Work performance data is data about what's going on. In other words, how do those deliverables look? Now, we also have the issue log, which gets created here. The issue log basically keeps track of issues that come up. And you're going to see this as an update to a lot of processes, because a lot of things can drive the creation of issues. And you want to be as proactive as possible with these issues and get them resolved as quickly as possible. Now, change requests can be created here. Now, I don't want you to confuse the approved change request we had as an input and these change requests as an output. So, as an example, remember, we plan, build. So, we're kind of going in a loop here, if you will, on this. Say the first time, or I don't know, the first week you're executing the overall project management plan, you might see the need to create a change request. So you create change request number 3. And I'm going to use numbers for illustrative purposes here. Now, say 2 weeks later that change request finally gets approved. Well, now it's approved at change request number 3, and thus it's an input when you're executing the process here. But that same week, say you come up with some new change request that looks like is necessary, well, that ends up being change request number 13. That's going to go with this output. That's going to go to Perform Integrated Change Control, and if it gets a yay, you do it. If it gets a nay, you don't. If it gets a hold on, then you're in a holding pattern. So that's how that works with approved change request in and change requests out. Situational question and real-world application. Failure to effectively perform the direct and manage project work process can result in work that may not deliver expected results. An example of this failure is a situation in which executing issues arise as a result of unplanned risk events. Now, a work authorization system it's an interesting little thing. I've seen a full spectrum of this. I've seen the boss saying, don't do anything beyond this until you talk to me, and I've seen the opposite, which is all these conditions have to be signed off on in this system before you can go to the next step, and everywhere between those 2 points. So loosely speaking, the work authorization system is generally used to minimize or eliminate gold plating. In other words, gold plating, as we'll see in one of the quality videos, gold plating is above and beyond what we asked for. Now, often we're told under promise and over deliver. Okay, that's not in PMI land. PMI land is do what you're supposed to do and that's it. Because if you try to under promise and over deliver, then every time you do a project in the future, they're always going to expect more. So you do exactly what you're there to do. Now, when we think about gold plating, basically it is anything that can get in the way of what you're there to do. So, if we think about it, if we want X, anything other than X is gold plating. I don't care if they give it to you, tell you you can try it, whatever. Now, that said, gold plating loosely is scope creep. And so a work authorization system ideally can minimize or eliminate scope creep. So the right work is done in the right order, at the right time, by the right resources. Now, again, the right work is done in the right order, at the right time, by the right resources. So that's kind of painting somebody into a corner, which is not necessarily a bad thing. In other words, it should happen exactly this way. And that's ultimately what you want, because if you start getting outside of those parameters, you have things that could come back and get in your way. Now, the PM's role, or project manager's role in integration, is to be there at key interface points, key phrase, key interface points when things come together. Think about it this way. What if you have a team building a BBX transceiver board, a team building a power amp, a team building a power supply, a team building a case to put it all in, and then you have 4 or 5 different vendors you're working with to provide parts and material for those things I just described. You as the project manager, you're going to be there when those things come together, when that thing fits together and takes shape.